Morning. It's Saturday, May 16th. Yesterday, in parts of New York, the reopening started, and the areas that were reopened were the Mohawk Valley, North Country, Southern Tier, Central New York, and the Finger Lakes region. And this does not mean that the problem has gone away, according to Governor Cuomo. Still, they reopened it with the cautionary advice to still take care of yourself. Be careful. So with reopening occurring in New York, it's time to consider what's going to happen in the future of working. Many people will be able to work from home, right? WFH, work from home. Now, there will also be many people who can't work from home because their jobs require them to be on site somewhere. We're talking about electricians, plumbers, men who work in construction, bus drivers, mailmen, or obviously all the healthcare people that work in hospitals and places like that. They can't do their jobs remotely. Now, so what's going to happen is that also including the people that can't do their jobs remotely, are people who don't make much more than minimum wage. People who take care of your lawn, people who are janitors or male custodians probably make money, but they still have to be on site. Cleaning staff. There are many people who just don't make a good living and won't be able to telecommute. So we have a situation where those who can telecommute are probably in the upper echelon salary-wise. They're technicians of some kind. They have certain skills. They have computers. They are ready to work from home. And they're going to get a benefit from working from home. They won't have a 2 or 3 hour commute back and forth to work. This is in New York area. They won't be buying lunches out. They won't necessarily need to dress fancy. You know, the other day we talked about wearing pajamas all day long. And they won't have to do any of those things, so they're going to save a considerable amount of money. You know, if you go take the Long Island Railroad and it costs you $300 a month, and you commute from home, well, that's $3,600 in your pocket. So rest assured, there will be businesses that take this into consideration and will attempt to adjust people's salaries accordingly. You know, maybe they'll just say, okay, you're not paying $300 a month, so we'll reduce your salary by $3,600 or something like that, which I think would be fair. And then you could take that $3,600 that you're taking away from this guy who's working at home, and hopefully you'll give a few of those bucks to the people that can't telecommute, right? And then, of course, and on the other side of the coin, the work from homers will say, well, the company is saving money because they don't need those big office spaces and everything, and they can cut down on their rent, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a fair deal for them, and so maybe we'll come to some other kind of agreement. We'll give them $1,500 of the $3,000, and that'll be the end of it. And then there will be other changes in people's lives, like going to the doctor's office. You won't have to go. Won't have to go to the doctor's office, They're going to save money. They can do a telemedicine thing. So there are many advantages to working from home, and I'm sure that the businesses are going to try and take advantage of that in some way, shape, or form. And I'm not necessarily saying that's unfair. I think the unfair part of it is that they don't pass along some of this savings to people who unfortunately can't telecommute from home, right? Now, there's another issue that comes along with this thing, and that's the area of education. We're going to probably be educating people from home, teleeducating. Now, I've spoken to my granddaughter, who was a college sophomore, and she's not particularly happy about having to stay home. and be sort of isolated with her mother and father and brother. Not that that's a bad thing, but the woman had a social life of her own, and that was taken away from her. And the college did refund some money, but not a significant amount. So in any event, we have people who can study from home and do a decent job at it, but they miss the environment and they feel they would do a lot better if they were still in school in a regular classroom setting. And then, of course, in addition to people like my granddaughter who, has everything she needs, there are many people who really don't have a place to study at home. They live in an apartment, maybe their family is not making a very good living. They're just scraping through. The kid's got piles of loans that are going to kill him later on in life. And he doesn't have a good place to study. What is he going to do? What is he going to do? It's not going to be good for him or her who come from that environment. So basically, I don't think that we should consider that too much about teleschooling. If we can't guarantee that the teleschooling environment is equal for everybody, then it's unfair to have a teleschooling environment. Because, again, income levels play a huge part in the ability to get a decent teleeducation. And on the other side of it, there's a lot of money that's going to be made in the telecommuting arena. I'm talking about the technicians and the computers that have to be sold for these kids to continue their education and for these people to work at home. So there'll be a lot of technical sales going on. There'll be a lot of money being made by computer corporations and high-tech organizations like Google and Amazon and Twitter, and all of those people will be out there. And Google and Amazon will be gathering data from every source they can get and putting that data to good use. A lot of people sell that information to other organizations, so they'll make a ton of money, these organizations. Now, they should probably share some of that money with the people they're collecting it from, some way, shape, or form. And a lot of information in this country is considered private. So that's a problem. That could be a big problem. Whereas in other countries, and I'll use China as an example, they got a whole network set up. They watch everybody, and nobody complains about their privacy being abused. So this is a very interesting problem. And I would appreciate your comments on this. I don't know where we stand. I'd like to continue this topic for a while. Is telecommuting good for the country? Is it good for the individual? How do we survive it? How do we get the best out of it? When we should abandon it, I mean, you can't telecommute everything. You can watch movies. But going to a Broadway show is an experience. Going to the ballet or the opera is an experience. You miss that if you're telecommuting and everything. So I'm going to leave this as an open-ended thing, and we'll get back to it. I'd like to know what you guys think about it. Thank you.